Hi and welcome to Phoenix Crypto. My name's Andy. Welcome to another edition of Market Watch. So what is going on in the market right now? Well, I think if I zoom in here, you will see on a 2-hour time frame, a number of hours ago, so that was 4 o'clock in the morning for me, we've had a blood diamond, and as a result we've dipped very nicely down to the 58k mark. Now in truth, I've been waiting for this, and I think those of you in my Discord will know I've been waiting for this for a little while now, for a couple of days, watching as this plays out. And this line of support here at 59k has been pretty resolute. It's held pretty well there. You can see tested again, and again, and we've had a couple of tests here where it keeps wicking down, jumping up. So obviously this is a 2-hour time frame, so a lot can happen in 2 hours before finally coming down. And so this has been on the cards. And if I look at the higher time frames, they've all been looking reasonably bearish. This is still a continuation from that red dot. If I go to, let's go to like the 3-day. Let's get rid of these random red lines. So you can see VWAP has come down pretty nicely. Probably as low, it's probably got a little bit way to go before it goes as low as has done. I don't know what the lowest has ever dropped to, but it's looking pretty bearish, right? So this is just a continuation of that. 4-day, very much the same. 5-day, very much the same. And you can see not only these VWAPs have curved down, these red dots have now confirmed. So that was the last close. So we'll have another one here. In all fairness though, you can, on these very, very high time frames, have green dot, red dot, green dot. You can have. So we can dip down before going on to, so because of this, we're having a dip. But you can see here, we've had a dip, and this is by far and away not the steepest dip we've had. So, this is just a short lull, as far as this is concerned. So nothing really to worry about these higher time frames. All they're telling us is we're in a dip, and I think we know that. But that doesn't preclude us from then going up, in another 5 days or 10 days time, right? So for people worrying about is the bull run over, not by any stretch. I think regardless of whether it's a bull run or not, I think you play what is in front of you, and what is in front of us is this kind of action. If I just focus on price a little bit, how low can we go? I appreciate I'm on a 5-day here, so let's go to something like the 4-hour. How low can we go? These are my support and resistance lines. I don't think we'll drop this far. I really don't. Personally, 55 I think might be it. That's still, quite a big drop from 58. You can see that we've had a reaction. We've dipped here and spiked a little bit. What do I think could happen next? It depends on how volatile this dip is, and it doesn't really feel that volatile at all. In fact, it feels quite it does not feel volatile. It feels like we're just meandering down, and that makes me feel like it's just a general trend, but it's not really the volatility that I'm expecting in order to generate the further upward movement and the liquidity that I think the market needs. So we can dip down here, and based on the high time frames, we can dip quite a bit. There's no question about it. what I would turn and say in the short term, there's all the higher time frames are kind of giving that indication that this can keep going. There isn't really a real ray of light on any of the time frames that we're going to suddenly zoom back up. What I do think will happen, if I move to an hour time frame, is depending on what happens to this wave, it's not much, but we can start to form perhaps the first of a trigger wave. Now, I've got to be honest, one of the reasons why I really was thinking this was going to come down, and it's better shown on Wolfpack Pro actually, was here. If you look at this, and for anyone who watched the Wolfpack Pro review, there's a lot of indications here of you've got the divergence, green diamond, golden cross, got a strong buy, that's another strong buy signal, green diamond, golden cross, and you think to yourself, this is all starting to trend. There was a very clear divergence on price between here and price. If I go to a 90-minute, I think that was looking quite nice. That was looking good. Let's see if I can go down to a 30-minute, and the charts were starting to look really positive, really positive, and we did, here we go, so you can see there, nice trigger wave, golden cross, all things that would make me think we could be in for quite a reasonable move. And then we got this, which has done nothing on price at all. I think we hit 60k, 60, 600, 60, 500, that kind of thing, and we would dip back down again, and then we would go back up and go back down, and that kind of ranging action often catches people out. People start to long, but they only start to long when it's at the support, at the resistance, or they'll short at the, it's going down, I'll get in on it, and but we're already at support there. So and then it reverses, and so I would put money on the fact that there will be a lot of folk out there that would have lost money trying to longing the top, shorting the bottom, within this range as it was consolidating, and it was clearly consolidating in order to go bearish and to dip down further. But going back here, really good looking charts to kind of signify we were going to make a bigger move up than we really took in the end. And really, if I go to, if I just zoom that up a little bit so you can see, if I go to here, and let's just, you can see, okay, we got a nice pump there, but that's only doing what we've done here, but just in one candle. Nice, but I'm not sure how many people were going in on that. And you can see this golden cross coming just here, and on Market Cipher we're getting a reversal sign, so which does actually play out. So it was quite tricky trading over those kind of day and a half or 2 days. It's been quite tricky trading, and of course we're now at this point here, and I think it's finally showing its hand. Still doesn't feel volatile enough, and the reason why I say that, and I appreciate the volatility is both good and bad, right? For the people who volatility can catch you out, and Lord knows I've been caught out once or twice before. It can feel quite painful. That said, when you get really great volatility and you know the direction it's in, that's a good time to make some money, right? Particularly the market dumps. I mean, I love those. Really love those. This does not feel particularly volatile, and the reason why I think we need it is I just don't think exchanges are going to allow us to kind of. I mean, somebody in a Discord I'm in literally put a few minutes ago, I'm gonna once we get to the hard bottom, I'm gonna put in a or once we get to the absolute bottom, I'm gonna put in a hard long, all the way up, and it's funny because it's frankly impossible to know. I think I responded with, how do you know that's the bottom? It's very difficult to work this out. I mean, if only it was easy, right? We'd all be doing it. That is the $1 billion question, right? And the reality is that we don't. Some people would have thought this was the bottom. We keep this line of support here. So how do we know that this is going to be the absolute bottom? We don't. We only know. We can only know once price starts forming. These kind of patterns. Where things are looking. Quite good. That's when we start to know. Oh, right, okay, this is starting to look good now. We think, and that means we probably have missed the absolute bottom. Otherwise all you're doing is guessing, because you put in a long, and it dips even further, and it's what they refer to as catching a falling knife, right? You think you're putting in a long thinking you've got there, but actually that price just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping, and that's why you can only play the charts in front of you, right, and exactly what's going on right now. And what I can tell you is, if I look at the higher time frames, if I zoom in, VWAP well below the zero line, this 4 hours confirmed. We're now, it's taken a little bit of time to play out, but and these red dots, they are no joke, right? They absolutely, you can almost set your watch by them. They are in my experience fairly reliable. I'm not going to turn and say just play them blindly, because that would be stupid. But they are very reliable, and you can clearly see here, this money flow coming down thick. Now you've got the VWAPs coming down. RSI, will be heavily overbought very soon. In fact, I did try and put in a long, I think a little bit earlier, a day or two ago, when the RSI was looking really oversold, and obviously didn't play out, but that was an indication. I thought, well, we might get a short-term bounce, and actually, I was feeling like price. Let me see if I can get the brush here. I actually felt that the price might have done this, and then dipped down and gone further. That's really, and I was feeling, and particularly where you can see this trend line, which goes from one of the previous all-time highs, and it trends all the way down, and it's been incredibly strong. And it will actually be worth extending that trend line, because we're going to come back up against it very, very soon. Can I do that? No, I'll do that after. So that will be a really important trend line, and that I felt that we might just do that and dip down a little bit further. And I felt that actually we might be more in a kind of like a descending triangle, which often you can see as being quite a bullish pattern, where you get a breakout at the top. And I thought we might get that, particularly as this was holding on longer and longer. The reality is, though, is that these lines of support, why do they hold 1 minute and break the next, right? And the way I like to think of them is every time that we hit that line of support, we are eroding a little bit of that support. And basically, the more we test it, the more it weakens. And it just gets to a point where there just isn't enough support left, and it breaks, And some lines of support are stronger than others, And I dare say that a lot of people are now putting shorts in. So we might drop more rapidly through this one than we did, up here. How low can we go? Probably 54. That's still almost a 4k dip from where we are now. 5k in total. That's quite substantial. Do I think we'll go as low as 51? I mean, anything can happen in crypto, but I don't honestly think it's likely. The only thing I will say, as to kind of balance that out, the longer the the more we meander down, the more I just feel that we're not generating the liquidity to really spark, and kickstart, that big move up that I think a lot of us are waiting for, and a lot of people are waiting for, the plan B, prediction of 98k, and we're looking at the charts going, we're now sub 60k. How are we going to get there? How are we going to get there? Only thing I will say is a lot of this though is always predicated on testing support and then bouncing back up, and the more we test, the more resolute that support can sometimes be in terms of if we test it down and come back above it and then retest that support, we could turn around and say, well, actually we're confident that can now hold and it will go back up again. So I think it's obviously we're at an important time, really important time, and we're going to have to see how this plays out. I can tell you that my group are currently short, have been for a little while now. I must admit, I think through this period it's not been completely clear as to which way we're going. I think the only thing I will say is my feelings have always been that we'll be bearish over this time frame and expecting, and really we had two scenarios. One, we dip straight down. The other, this line of support holds, we go up and then come back down again. So those were the two. Either way, I always felt we were coming back down, and that is playing out. So I think it'll be interesting. Just a couple of other things. I'm going to flick to a couple of other different indicators that I'm trying. This is the new one you'll see on here. There's actually a couple of different signals. If I got rid of some of Market Cipher on here, I really like the Market Cipher A. That's really good help for me. So this is one called Cryptograph. I'll put a link in the description below. I've only just got it, but I've been eyeing it up for some time. It's got three main parts to it, and essentially we've got a stochastic RSI here. If I just zoom in, we've got these bars, VWAP. So I think light blue, if I just zoom in a little bit, light blue is when it's going up, and purple is when it's going down, and down is predicated on that I don't want to call it a candle, but that line being longer than the previous line. So that's what determines whether it's light blue or purple. So you can see here, this is telling you we're in a negative trend. The purple here, negative. These purple bars, negative. So all of that is saying, in all fairness, this sell signal has been here for some time. So even through this ranging, it's known, which is excellent. And of course we've got this very nice sell signal here. So that's given some good correlation. That's on a 1 hour chart. I can just have a quick look on a 4 hour. I was looking, so you can quite clearly see that there. This is the time segmented volume, which you can draw divergences on, just like you can on the momentum waves. So it works very similar for people who are quite familiar with this type of stuff. See that sell signal. So I think we're reasonably confident we're going down. So fairly new to the indicator. I will feature it more. Maybe in a couple of months I'll do a review. Really like it so far and getting to grips with it. So big shout out to those guys. They've got their own Discord server. I'll put the link in below. Cracking group of guys. So feel free to drop by there. And I've got this one here, which I really like as well, and something I want to talk a little bit more about is Keltner bands. What are they? How are they used? And this is a particularly good indicator that I've got. And what I like here is that it changes based on the time frame. So you can see here as it loads, you know, and I suppose very quickly when it gets into the red, you can start thinking about a reversal. Now you could turn and say, well, this went beyond the red, and it did, but you know, all that's saying is that is clearly going to reverse at some point. So you know, it is tricky because you know, this wick down pretty hard, but it also didn't stay at that level for very long, right? And it went back up again. Obviously it's meandered down, and you can see here, and I'm by far and away no expert on this indicator. Again, it's fairly new to me. You know, what I like about it is based on an average. So as the average price lowers, you know, this band lowers. Hence why it can go down lower here, and why it couldn't do it here. There is a limit as to how much. And you know, this happens here. You know, you can see this has gone green, gone up here, and has to come back down. You know, so you know, I've not used it in anger in that way yet. You know, but it is something I'm very interested in, and it's quite good about reversals and swings. And the median line, which is the blue line here, you know, you can use as a line of support and resistance. These other lines here are just trend lines showing. So all this is showing is the negative trend that we already know we're in. And this red bar here is resistance, and the green bar there is support. So this is showing we've broken through that support. You know, like a lot of indicators, got buy and sell signals. Some of them work extraordinarily well. I mean, this would have been fantastic, right? But some of them do not. You know, that one, you know, would not have played out. So, you know, take you know, take you know, buy and sell signals on any indicator with a pinch of salt, and they are only a prompt, like any other you know, feature on an indicator. They're only ever you know, information to prompt for further analysis. But thought I'd give a quick shout out to these indicators. Really interesting, starting to get to grips with them, starting to experiment around, and how I can look at different indicators to help better inform you know, my predictions, you know, and knowing, you know, when to short, when to long. You know, let's have a quick look at Ethereum, and I'll probably close up the video. Dipping down quite nicely now. I have drawn, it's not on this chart, this particular one, some support and resistance lines. You know, I think we will get down to here. You know, do I think we'll actually dip down? Possibly. I think it's pretty incredible dipping down for Ethereum below, potentially below 4,000. I think that's a good buy price, personally. So I think well worth it if you're looking to buy the bottom. You know, I think sub 4K is a good price right now. Whether that dips even further, and you might be thinking, you know, damn, I wish I got, you know, 3.5K, you know, perhaps. But I think thinking about the bull run and hopefully getting some parabolic action, I think a sub 4K price for Ethereum is good. And Ethereum largely has outperformed Bitcoin over, I think, certainly the last 12 months. You know, so I think putting a little bit of money into Ethereum is no bad thing. Not sure what the price predictions are on Ethereum. I've seen some pretty wild ones. You know, but I think sub 4K is a good price. That's obviously on the daily. If I just go to an hour, you know, you can see how we've meandered a bit here and broken through that. So, you know, it's now just how much strength has that got to dip down. What can happen, and this is the same as Bitcoin, we can go up, test what is now resistance, formerly support, and then go down. That is one thing that we can do. You know, and that would probably be quite a bearish pattern to actually see that kind of test here. It might be actually better if you're particularly bullish to actually get down here and then get a quite a strong rejection, that would be probably a more bullish point. Just going back to Bitcoin, and just one thing is on the weekly, we've got this lovely red dot here, and you can see that the VWAP has dipped below that line there. We've got a number of days before that confirms. What I would turn and say is the 5 days already confirmed. So that is a bit tricky. I think if that confirms, I don't think it's looking good for 98k in November. Sorry, Plan B. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Do I want to be wrong? Absolutely. It benefits me if I am. But will that really confirm? I think it really varies. I think it might not. What could happen is if we get a strong rejection off one of these levels and we move back up quite drastically, that could disappear. Absolutely. This doesn't mean that we necessarily dip down loads. We've got here a red dot and then a green dot the following week, right? So this might only be momentary. It doesn't have to mean that we're in for 2 weeks of bearish action. What I will turn around and say though is you can start seeing a bit of a trend line there, and that's a divergence compared to price over here. That is clearly going up and this is going down, so that could be a reaction, undoubtedly, but it's difficult. If that confirms, it is difficult to see how we're going back up again in November, but I think my gut feel is we will go back up in November. I do think we'll hit what Plan B is talking about. I think we will end up, I think it will happen there. I think it will suddenly just skyrocket, and it will just go completely nuts, and we'll have this gigantic spike, and we'll have 10k daily candles, and every day will feel like Christmas, and it'll be amazing. I think that will happen. I think it'll happen right at the end of the month. I don't think it will happen much before. So I think this is just a correction. But look, if I look here, we've got a higher low. We've got here a low. We've got a higher low. We end up here being in a higher low, right? And there is, there will be, a channel that we're in, that so this doesn't have to spell the end of the bull run, at all, or Plan B's predictions, and you can see here how we've got these wicks, the candle's here, but it's wick down. There is nothing to stop us going down and then coming back up to a resting point, and then the following week we can move up, and the following week we can move up, right? So all of these things can happen. So yeah, don't think it's the end. And then interestingly, if you can see here, this is not red. It is showing slightly bearish, but all it's saying is we're just cooling off a little bit. That's all we're doing. We're just cooling off, and it might go really green again. So we don't need to fear for the macro the bull run. But current trend though downward, and like I say, a lot of those time frames are showing going pretty down. To be honest, I don't think anything is giving us a lot of short-term hope that we're going up. Right, thank you very much for joining me. I hope that's been really interesting. If you like the content, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share it with friends. Really appreciate it. We've got my Discord community. Jump in. We've had a lot of people jump into the Discord, but they don't really say much. Say hi, start talking. There's a few of us about now. It'll be good to hear a little bit more from people. What do they think? What do they want? What do you want to hear on these videos? Is this good? Is this not? Happy to take a bit of feedback and try out some other stuff as well. So, get your comments into the videos, put them on my Discord. I will read everything, and thank you very much.